Rebound taken by Iguodala. Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection.
Cleveland, this is for you.
Come here to cleanse your soul. Yeah, 4-4 and go. That other getting old. We got Sam right in time. This is a sports octagon. Sports for forever and beyond. Spend it with Sam Ryan time. From the puck to the glove to the pigskins high. Share all of your thoughts, just let it ride. Down the baseline in the bleachers, or you wanna get denied. Yeah, share all of your thoughts, just let it ride. 4-4 and go. Come here to cleanse your soul. Yeah, it's 4-4 and go. Come here to cleanse your soul.
The Browns Super Bowl contenders.
Hey, listen, when we start talking about what wins Super Bowl, we talk about talent. The Browns, they have the talent. They have it.
Oh, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I got some disappointing news and good news for me because Sammy's a little bit on the sick side, and he's probably not going to talk a whole hell of a lot tonight. So
thanks for that. Yep, but I'm here.
Yes, that is not a fake voice. That is Sammy's voice, which now that you guys brought up Kevin Malone earlier, you actually sound really close to sounding like Kevin Malone right now. I just had to put that out there.
This is my cross to bear.
Yeah. So welcome everybody in. I'm Ryan. Next to me is Tom. Down below us tonight is Sammy. Not a whole heck of a lot going on in the sports scene in Ashtabula, Ohio. I know I think Jefferson's been playing a little bit of basketball, but other than that, that's all that we know of. Still waiting on that January 11th seems to be the day we're all waiting for. If we tip off that day, that means we got basketball this year. So see how it goes from there. But other than that, how are you guys doing tonight? How was Christmas?
Oh, man, Christmas was pretty good, man. I mean, spent some time with the family. Got a couple days off from the car dealership, which was nice. It was really just all about Wyatt and getting him what he needs and making him happy. Santa was good to him. And I told the guys, so everyone knows I have a love for golf. Well, I kind of forced that love on my significant other and bought her a set of golf clubs for Christmas. And she looked at me like, what the hell is this for? And my mother, without skipping a beat, it's to golf, not to beat him with. So that was cool. But, I'm super excited for that. But other than that, it was pretty chill. I got my parents an air fryer. That was awesome. Other than that, what about you, Sam?
So Christmas was okay. Unfortunately, my oldest two are away. They're with their mother in Florida. But this was our first real Christmas with Juliana, where she gets to open gifts and all that good stuff. She was way, way more into the paper than anything. And then, we also bought her, all these super expensive name brand toys that we thought she'd like. And she liked them for like a minute. But there's $1 store Stegosaurus that cost all $3 that shut Christmas down. That's all she cared about. So, there was that. No, but other than that, unfortunately, as you can hear from my voice, I've come down with a little bit of a sore throat. But I did yesterday go get the old brain stem check. I am COVID-19 free. I do not have COVID-19, which is a blessing. We were on quarantine because of an exposure that my daughter had already. This thing it's getting ridiculous. It's annoying. It's the second time we've done it. So we ended up spending, that for that reason, we spent Christmas with just us, cooked our first Christmas dinner, along with our first Thanksgiving. So there was that. I made some lamb. I was really proud of that. Jessica wasn't a super big fan.
I gotta ask, how did you come up with lamb? Most people that I know are like, let's get a ham. Let's get, I don't know, mac and cheese maybe. I don't know. I'm always, well, then again, mac and cheese is good for any celebration. It doesn't matter what it is. But, like, how does lamb come about?
Well, most of the time, ham is as salty as Joe Rich's gym socks, so I'm not a super big fan of it. But
it's probably the one night he's not watching.
No, you know what? So my wife, God bless her, she took me to this place called Texas State Brazil. So it's a Brazilian steakhouse, like kind of like you see on
Food Network.
Bridesmaids.
Right.
When they go there, she cooks on herself, except you don't cook on yourself. So there is where when they came around with a leg of lamb, and I got a piece of a cut of that, and this is probably 4 or 5 years ago, I was like, this makes all other meat taste like toe jam. So this is my new favorite meat in the whole world. So we tried it. You know, my girls have tried it a couple times. It's my favorite. So I figured it's an offbeat year for Christmas, so we'll try an offbeat meat.
Well, see, that's a good answer, Sam. But I thought you were going to go with, like, Jesus is the Lamb of God. So, you know, you were honoring him in that way by eating lamb because he's the Lamb of God.
You know, somebody else brought that up too, and it just made me feel worse because I was eating Jesus on his birthday.
Well, Catholics eat Jesus every day at church with that little like cookie wafer thing.
Yeah, it's communion.
Yeah. I know what communion is, Sam. I've been confirmed in the Catholic Church.
Oh, well, I will let you guys know that Santa Claus brought my son a hoverboard, which has been a travesty in this house because obviously riding a hoverboard outside just ain't a thing right now. So it gets ridden inside for all 7 miles of its capability. I don't know how he does it between the living room and kitchen. Thank God he has not decided to ride it down the stairs yet, so that's worked out well. I will tell everyone, though, and I may have said this before on the show, Riverview Park in Madison is the place to go. Boy, we had a blast. My son also got a snowboard for Christmas, and I will give him kudos yet again. Between the snowboard and skateboard, he's got me beat. I've never been able to ride one of those successfully, and he's done it at the age of 7. So good for you, Owen. I really appreciate you showing up your father at such a young age. But yes, Riverview Park, man, is a place to go. Had a good old time this weekend, right after Christmas, or last weekend, I should say. I think it was right after Christmas, wasn't it? Yeah, I think. But so Saturday, it was a good time. Yeah, so day after Christmas, went out there, had some friends, family. It was good. I actually seen some of the Geneva players out there. That was kind of weird when they all were like, hey, 4-4-0 in goal? And I'm like, maybe. Just depends on who's asking. You know, and it turned out to be Scabona, which was funny. But yeah. So shout out to him for recognizing me. That was nice of you. Appreciate that. And I was all bundled up. But
Big Ben from that dominant Geneva Eagles team. You know, kind of playing off of that. One thing I am looking forward to coming up is as basketball season comes back, we're going to get back into the gyms. So you guys can look forward to seeing some high school basketball be streamed right here. Just the same way it was with basketball or with football, pardon me. You know, there'll be some learning and stuff like that that's going to be happening with that, but we're going to try and give you the same great product that we gave you for football. I'm really, really looking forward to it. I miss being out there and getting with these high school sports. Got a chance to talk to a couple of the area coaches, and you know, as far, you know, we've been welcomed into all of their gyms, so we're definitely looking forward to that. Yeah, and so Geneva, we're still kind of working on Geneva to work out the kinks to see how that's going to work. I know they're going to be covered here no matter what. We're going to talk about them, just like we did for football. I'm not sure what the streaming on that is going to entail. We're hoping to get out there and, if not streaming ourselves, at least be able to call a game in Geneva because to be honest, we miss you guys. We miss the Eagles. It was a blast all year. So something we're kind of working on. And administration has been very update. They've been pretty cool about trying to work with us and get find a solution to this. So shout out to them for being open-minded and trying to help us problem solve this. Obviously, we're gonna get out there. We've got some Warrior basketball coming up soon. Lakeside's got a squad this year. We are going to make a genuine effort to get out to Grand Valley. That's a big one. We want to get out there and give you Mustangs some coverage this year. And then, of course, we got to check out the guys, the Laker guys. I really the mighty mullet is gone. Oh, I think she's telling me that Matt Grzinski cut the mullet.
Oh no.
He had to cut it down for hoop season. But we're going to get out there. We got a lot to cover. Conneaut, I cannot wait to get out there too. We had Coach Tallbacka and Coach Passanen both on here. We had the bowlers on here from Edgewood. We are going to try and do some more coaching spotlights as they come up. But as you guys saw from before, once the season starts, this channel kind of really leans toward a live coverage. So
yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it because that was honestly my favorite part.
Yeah, it was a blast to go to all those stadiums and really get to know everybody. You always especially getting to know the kids, but you get to know the ins and outs of each stadium. So it's fun. I can't wait we got about 12 days, call it 2 weeks. Hopefully tip off is kicking in and we'll have a game on a Friday night to cover. And
I'll have my voice back by then, so you'll get to hear Sammy V.
Sammy V. Yeah, I'm really excited for the season to be able to write again. I mean, Sam and Ryan really empowered me to get back to writing, which is something I haven't done in years. And that's what I spent over $100,000 going to college for. I got a master's in that and didn't really use it because now I'm slinging Chevys. But I'll tell you what, it was really cool doing some interviews and writing some spotlights on stuff. And now hopefully with being able to get back into gyms and stuff like that, we can do a little bit of that too. So, get that website back going. Because for a minute there, guys, the website was growing a little strong. And now it's kind of done a little dip, but that was to be expected. You know what I mean? So,
yes.
Yeah, I think with the holidays coming and, unfortunately, Corona has kind of put everything on standby, including this. But it's coming. We're getting ready. I'm looking forward to it. And, we are going to make an effort to try and grab some wrestling somehow, some way, whether it's a partial meet, something like that. Just to give you guys a little bit, it's the idea is to every kid out here, every athlete, we believe that every athlete out here is special and they all deserve their shot and they all deserve their time in the spotlight. And we're just trying to get that out there. So please don't ever think we're ignoring anybody, particularly like wrestling is one of those sports. It's just not glamorous. It doesn't get, doesn't, a lot very similar to baseball, which we're going to do cover some baseball, which will be the first time you're going to see baseball covered in this area is going to be right here.
That we know of, we should say. I've never seen it. So I'm excited about baseball. I have some plans that I plan on fully making that happen, and I am kind of pumped about it. But we'll see how that one goes. So sorry to interrupt you, Sam.
No. I was just kind of going on about the high school sports, and you know what, you guys, if you guys who are watching, let us know what you're kind of looking forward to this hoop season. What are you looking forward to this wrestling season? I think indoor track is also during this season as well.
I believe it is. Yeah.
That's something that happens right now as well.
Swimming too. And swimming.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I never knew what season swimming was because I feel like they're always swimming.
They're always training, man.
Swimming was very similar to hockey. It's like hockey. That's all you do.
That's all they do.
I was just thinking about it. Local newspaper reported last week. Shout out to Mr. Allgood. Yeah. Shout out to All Good. He is the interim as of right now, AD over at Lakeside. But that's not to say anything against Mr. Baxter. It was really great getting to know him for the short, 3-4 months that we did. But I want to make sure All Good. It's been I've known All Good. Sammy's known All Good for a long time. Tom, you're going to get to know All Good if you don't know him. Coming up at least next year. Huh?
I've dabbled in getting to know him.
Right.
We've done some golfing together. Had some good.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, sorry, but yeah, shout out to All Good over there. I know as much as I know him, I know he's got some big plans. So it's going to be an exciting road this next coming year. Through the rest of this year, and he's also he was featured on the show 2-3 weeks ago. He's the assistant head coach for Lakeside varsity basketball. So congratulations to him.
Yeah, and to Jason Baxter, we talked about before. So everybody has, we have kind of a different relationship with everybody out here, and it resulted in different methods and coverage amounts and stuff like that. And Jason Baxter opened the door and allowed us in and was wide open and helped us. And I will always respect him for that. I think he did some great. So I think he did phenomenal things for the Ashtabula Area City School District. Implementing all kinds of different teams and working together in schedules and putting it really. Let's be honest, Lakeside has been thought of in a much more positive light in the last couple of years. And I think a lot of that is attributed to him. So he's always been fantastic to us. So send out a genuine thank you and good luck to you in there, and to Sean Allgood. Sean Allgood is one of my, not only my coach, but he's been one of my heroes since I was a kid. I've always looked up to him. He is a friend, a brother. At times, I looked at him in a fatherly way growing up. Always looked up to him, and I think he has that relationship with a lot of kids. I think a lot of people that there are some people that I call certified, and Sean David Allgood is certified. So it's a big step up. It's a big step forward for Lakeside and Ashtabula, and I'm super proud of him. I'm very proud of Lakeside for making the right move when they during this time. And I think this is something going to go really great, and he's going to fit in with a group of fantastic athletic directors out here. Yep. Because we do have awesome athletic directors, all from Conneaut all the way to Jefferson, and everywhere in between.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's got the pedigree for it, that's for sure. I know he played ball at NIU and had some looks from the Browns, coached at Lake Erie College for 12 years. He's got the pedigree for it. And he was a truancy officer in Ashtabula County for the last, I think, decade and a half. Yeah. So, good news for him. I'm excited to see him this year coming up. Excited to see how that changes Ashtabula area. But I guess
before we move on to that, I also want to send a gracious bit of adieu to Ed Rankin. Ed Rankin has stepped down as the Jefferson Falcons head coach. He and his family are making a move west, and that the time has come. And Ed Rankin was a stand-up guy. He's a stand-up coach, and he's just a phenomenal person. He is another one.
Vegas, aren't they?
Something along. Something in that area. And but Ed Rankin was a really, I think he did a phenomenal job with the Falcons in a young team that was rebuilding for a program that was rebuilding. And I think he put some guys in place that are really that really got those kids moving and helped the program go into a positive direction. And, here's hoping, one of those guys maybe takes over the reins. But to Ed, this is to you. Thank you. Thank you for everything you did, because you were another one that when we walked in there, I felt like I'd known you for 100 years and opened the doors and within obviously safe limits, You made sure that we always felt welcomed, and you stepped up to bat for us, and those are things I'll never forget, and I don't think we'll forget. So to Ed Rankin, best of luck. God bless you, brother. I wish you and the entire Rankin family, a wonderful future. Congratulations on, the come up that's coming, and whatever West Coast school gets this guy by the name of Ed Rankin blowing the whistle at him is getting a gem. They're getting a gem.
Yes, 100%.
So we'll spend the last 9-10 minutes here, whatever. We're just doing a short show tonight, so everyone knows nothing crazy, nothing wild going on. But I mean, let's be honest. We do have a 10-5 Browns team. We're all Browns fans on this show. I know some watching despise us because of that, but good for you. That's your problem, not mine. Unfortunately, we took the loss this weekend to New York. Like Stefanski said in his interviews, no excuses. It is what it is, but I'll make the excuses for him. I can't help it. 4 wide receivers down due to COVID protocol. Two linemen. Pro Bowl Wyatt Teller, I do believe he got selected for the Pro Bowl this year, was out. Starting a rookie, Nick Harris, at guard. Just didn't fit the scheme this week. Couldn't get the run game going. And honestly, as much as I love the guy, Baker Mayfield with 3 fumbles. A lot of issues right there, I'll tell you. I will tell you that's a problem. And he fumbled the week before, too. I don't know if anyone remembers that.
Yeah, when
QBC.
he was trying to advance the ball past
But
the line,
so obviously the issue's there, but let's talk about the rule that happened right there.
Yeah.
Okay. So and that was one of the craziest. I've never heard of this rule. I've never done anything like that. Warrior basketball back in 1 week. Thanks, Coach Bowler. Appreciate that.
Strong.
So Mayfield.
It's time to get over to what is this the gym? So Corlew Stadium is the football. Is the gym just Edgewood, or is it named after somebody? Coach Bowler knows that.
Yeah, we'll wait a second here to get it. But Mayfield, just a quick sequence of events. Mayfield fumbles the ball. Ball is then picked up by Kareem Hunt and advanced for enough for a first down. But apparently under 2 minutes to go in the game.
Ken.
Come on, man.
Ken, I liked you so much.
Got knocked down about 4 steps there.
Ken.
Well, Kareem Hunt advanced the ball, get a first down, and it is not that under 2 minutes to go in the game, wherever the ball was fumbled, that player must pick it up and advance the ball. And due to that, Warrior Gymnasium, as far as he knows.
Well, then listen, I'm just excited to get back to Warrior Gymnasium, man. It's time for hoops, and I'm all for it.
All for it.
So what do you guys think about that rule? I mean, that's a little bit extravagant. I thought I couldn't believe it when I was watching it because the Browns were marching. I think they were on like the 12-yard line of the Jets, if I recall.
Yeah.
So,
here, go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, I'm going to go because my voice is on fire, and I'm going to have to grab some water after this. So I think the rule itself is stupid, but I think that the NFL, more than any other professional sport, and if I'm wrong, you guys go ahead and correct me, they have more rules for individual situations than any other sport. Maybe baseball has some crazy stuff, and I'm not as well versed in the MLB rule book as I am the NFL. But in the NFL, in that last 2 minutes, it almost becomes a completely different game. Mm-hmm. And it's because they take all these individual situations that may have benefited one team over the other, and then they make a rule so you can never do that again because they're afraid people will strategize against it, which to me is overthinking. And what happens is stupid things like this is where it ends up becoming a problem. Now, Baker Mayfield, fumbles the ball a lot. That's an ongoing problem. That's not new. That's why every time he runs, I mean, be honest, guys, when he runs a quarterback sneak, are you ever 100% like sure that he's going to keep the ball? Because I'm not. But then again, you guys know my feelings on Baker, so I'm not giving him credit for anything. So I think the rule sucks. But I'll be honest with you, with as cerebral and logical as Stefanski is, he probably knew the rule. Like, I'm just being
Yeah,
honest.
that's true. Yeah, he probably did.
So that rule, I'm gonna tell you how old that rule is. That was enacted when Ken Stabler was a quarterback. Okay, so that was made all those years ago. Okay, since Ken Stabler was a quarterback, how many rules have changed? How many rules have been made to benefit superstar players? Okay. So, do you remember in that one Super Bowl, the tuck rule came into effect
Right.
the very next season? So, I guess the point that I'm trying to make here is it's a stupid rule, and it really does nothing to benefit a football game. If anything, all it does is create a detriment to a team that tries to make a positive out of a negative on a fumble. And the rule of football is to keep control of a ball, and at that point, and by any means necessary, you know what I'm saying? So it kind of takes that away, and in my mind, this is a rule that should have been put some provisions into a long time ago, because let's just be honest, this is a totally different game than when Ken Stabler played football. Okay. So the fact of the matter is we wouldn't have been in that situation, and that rule wouldn't have mattered if Baker Mayfield didn't fumble the football.
Yeah.
And the onus is on Baker Mayfield.
Which
Yeah.
I'll give him credit. He did own it. He did. At the post-game show, he said the loss is his fault.
Well, you know, that's great for him, and I'm super proud of him for finally owning up to his suckage. But you know, that's neither here nor there. Like, I'm sick of his excuses, for real. Like, that's what it is with him. Every time he throws a pick or something, he's like, "Oh, that's my bad." Yeah, it is your bad.
I want to
Yeah,
argue
that
with
is
you
bad.
so
But
bad
the
right now.
rule-
It's just not going to be the
Like,
same.
I don't understand why that rule even needs to exist. I mean, I think you can very simply make it, you know, there's no reason that a fumble shouldn't be able to be advanced at all times during the game. It should always be able to be advanced. That rule sucks. Now, if people are doing it so they're fumbling, you know, where they're fumbling it forward, then you call it a forward lateral and it kills the ball. But anytime the ball is fumbled behind the line of scrimmage or behind the play, it should be a live ball. I don't understand what you are gaining by adding in this provision.
Mm-hmm.
So the one thing I did want to add to this is we have someone that we know that all season has trolled, Browns fans, and made the point the other day that this would only happen to the Browns. This is because the Browns are so bad, like no other team has ever done this. The Los Angeles Chargers this year, it happened to with Justin Herbert. Like, this is a common thing that happens, and it could have destroyed the Chargers season when this happened. So, I mean, the thing is everyone has their own narrative on this rule, and no one's right and no one's wrong on this. But the fact of the matter is the only thing that I get mad about with this is when people come out and say, like, oh, well, this is only a Browns thing. This is something that could only happen to the Browns, because this guy is so in love with Justin Herbert that it borders on concerning to me. And he's over here just totally missing the point that this happens. I don't know. Maybe I'm not making sense here, but I mean,
No, you are.
I agree with you.
The fact of the matter is it happens, and it's the onus is on the football player that created the fumble to rectify the situation. It behooves them. I haven't said behooves in a while, so I wanted to
There
do
it is, boys.
But I don't think this necessarily makes Baker Mayfield a bad quarterback. I mean, it happens. But in this situation, it definitely makes me question the mental toughness of Baker Mayfield and his spatial awareness of what's going on around him, and that concerns me going into a potential postseason run.
Well, Baker Mayfield, I think people confuse me talking about him as if I think he's awful. I honestly don't think he's that bad. All right. But the problem is I don't think he's that good either. I truly believe in my heart of hearts, Baker Mayfield, his ceiling is just over middle of the pack.
What would you say his ceiling is as a quarterback, comparing him to a quarterback of the last 20 years? We're only going to go back to 2000.
Yeah, okay.
What do you think his ceiling is?
I think honestly, I think his ceiling is somebody who's playing right now. I think if he got his act together, he could be as good as Matt Ryan except for the year Matt Ryan went to the Super Bowl. You know,
I mean, that's a high ceiling, bro.
Yeah, I think
that's not. We're talking about like 30-foot tall ceilings now.
No. I
thought you were shooting for like a 10-footer at best.
No. I think he can be as good as Matt Ryan. May even be a little bit higher than he should be, but Matt Ryan reminds me of maybe Stafford. Maybe that's about where he lives, where he's going to be good enough to not lose games, but you're still going to need just so much help. And this year, his excuses are running out because his offensive line is phenomenal. It's the best offensive line I've seen the Cleveland Browns have.
But what excuses though? Like, he messed up by all means.
Yeah.
3 fumbles in a game. I mean, running backs go an entire. I think Derrick Henry fumbled for the first time against us in 3 seasons. So yeah. I mean, like, but at the same token, I think he has a super big upside. I really do. Where
do you put him? Like, you think
I'm going to go with like the Brett Favre?
That's a little high.
No, and here's the reason why I say that.
You go, Ryan. Then I'm going to say who my ceiling is.
Right, I'll just
they play alike, and
I can play a lot alike. They're not massive individuals, but they have. I mean, the dude threw the ball 3/4 of a football field 2 weeks ago.
Okay,
he's got
just to that point, real quick,
absolute cannon, and as long as he's surrounded with good players, just like any other team that can catch the ball, like Jarvis, like Rashad, or like Higgins, Hollywood, and OBJ if he ever does come back, but that's a whole nother topic. He reminds me a lot of Favre, and they've said that a lot since he's been out. But go ahead, Tom.
So just to that point that you said about Baker throwing it 3/4 of a football field, that's super impressive. But there is a video. It's kind of hard to find now, but you can find it. Jamarcus Russell was sitting in the end zone he was sitting in his own end zone, sitting on his butt, and threw a football through the uprights of the completely other end zone. I mean, it's great that you can throw a ball far, but the fact of the matter is can you do it effectively?
It's
Baker Mayfield.
It's Baker not him either, Tom.
What's up?
Joe Flacco did the same thing.
Joe Flacco.
And that's the other one.
Like, you're right. I completely agree with you.
If I had to compare him same thing with an additional quarterback, it's Flacco. And the reason is Baker is either going to turn into the gunslinger of Brett Favre, risk it for the biscuit, all that fun stuff, or he's going to turn into the ultimate game manager. And that's what Flacco was.
Can we take a minute to talk about Brett Favre? Because I never liked Brett Favre, ever.
How can you not like Brett Favre?
I made a Brett Favre argument today, and I was told I was an idiot. So Brett Favre's a bit of a soft spot for me. But just real quick, we were talking about who the ceiling is. My ceiling for Baker Mayfield is like 2 guys who are a little different, but I feel we're kind of similar. I feel my ceiling for him is Tony Romo / Alex Smith.
Okay. I can
see the Romo thing.
Tony Romo's actually pretty decent comparison. I think I can see that. Yeah. If I could see
Alex Smith could win.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex Smith is tough.
Alex Smith is tough, and he's getting a lot of love because of his comeback. But let's be honest, Alex Smith is by definition a game manager.
Correct.
And
Alex Smith used to come in my mind, Alex Smith, when he was with the Chiefs, used to, like how fighters walk in with like their theme music. It was T-Pain's All I Do Is Win. playing in the background with Alex Smith coming in because he wasn't really doing much, but he was still kind of winning all the time. So it was kind of like, how's this dude doing this? And that's what I would like to see with Baker Mayfield, because that's kind of what Baker Mayfield reminds me of this year. Like he's winning and he's not really doing elite quarterback things. He's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not throwing 44 touchdowns versus 5 interceptions. He's pretty pedestrian with his stats right now. But the fact of the matter is Baker has kind of turned into this game manager, and it's kind of nice to see in a way, because it's kind of like when we look at each other, like when the three of us are at a football game and we look at each other, we're doing something for the first time. Guys, just don't mess this up today. Like there's no way we can mess this up. Like let's just rock with it. And it kind of seems that's what Baker's doing. And John, I don't think he has Drew Brees potential.
John, he couldn't beat Drew Brees in Madden.
But the thing is, though, Drew Brees been in the league for 19 years.
Yep.
He's done it for 3.
Yep. Guess what? Drew Brees has this thing called talent. And
so wait, you just said that you don't hate Mayfield.
I don't.
You're just not a believer
at all.
So you're telling me when he went for whatever 340 yards and 5 touchdowns against the Titans meant nothing. That's what you're saying.
Listen, you guys remember Deshaun Kaiser?
Yeah.
You remember Tim Couch? Remember Derek Anderson?
Kelly Hope.
Derek Anderson threw 5 touchdowns against the Cincinnati Bengals. One game was about to be 6.
You remember?
That was about to be nuts.
You remember Brian, the gym teacher Hoyer? They all had fantastic games. They've all had fantastic games. They can't hold, and I'm not even saying that he's at the same caliber as them. I think he's obviously better than them. I think he's good enough to be a starter in this league for a couple of years, but I can tell you that the heartbreaks are going to come by the boatload with him. He's just not that guy. And Brett Favre, just getting back to Brett Favre, and Packers fans will tell you this, Brett Favre threw them out of a lot of games.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like people get caught up on the fact that he did win some championships and that gunslinger mentality is great. And you know what I mean? But it only works when it works. And what I mean by saying that is, you know, you're only one play away from being thought of as the biggest turd in the world. And if you guys, you guys are gamblers, so that's great for you. I don't play that game though. I want the guy I know is going to win.
I've said this on the show before. I mean, the guy in his 4-year stint, I think it's 4-year stint in Cleveland, has had 3 head coaches, 4 offensive coordinators, and 2 GMs. I mean, let's say you went to work once a year, you had a new person, and they're going to come in and teach you all new things every single year. How successful do you think you could be?
I don't know. Ask Jared Goff.
What do you mean, ask Jerry? Sean McVay's been there for 3 years.
Yeah.
Drafted, I do believe, the same year as Baker.
Yeah, he had arguably the worst coach in NFL history get him started.
Jim Fisher.
Yeah, Jeff Fisher. Jeff Fisher, excuse me. Jeff Fisher. You know what I mean?
Bad I didn't know his name.
Yeah. You know, he has him come, and I'm not even, look, Baker's he's coming around and he's getting, I think, honest to God, he's getting to a ceiling about already, which is going to be, there are going to be games you're like, man, this kid's on fire. And then there are going to be games where you're like, is he throwing it without the laces? Because that's just Baker, and that's the nature of the beast. And some Browns fans are going to love that. They're going to love that mystery and stuff like that. I don't. I would much rather have a quarterback who is steady and we can fill around him. With Baker, you're going to win by 100 or you're going to lose by 100. And do I ever feel comfortable with him when he's, you know, leading a fourth quarter comeback? No. And the reason is I think he takes unnecessary risks all the time.
Well, they're 2 for 3 in that column.
Let's look at last week. You know, there are touchdowns he's throwing in the back of the end zone that are heavily covered. He's got Njoku wide open in the front. I mean, that's just him. That's the way he plays. He believes he's the best quarterback that's ever lived, and that's great to have that gusto, as a, that swagger, that gusto, that thought as a quarterback. But if you can't back it up, man, you're not. That ain't it, man. That ain't it.
What else does the guy got to do this year? I mean, he's 10-5. We went 6-10 last year. The year before, we went 0-16.
I don't care.
That means he's had more wins in 1 year than the Browns did in 2 collectively.
Listen, if he's
you don't care. I want to argue with you so bad, but it's just not going to be fun because you can't go back. I want to scream and to jump through the roof right now because of you. We get into this once a week, and it starts on Sunday about 12:55, and then we get the message that says Baker sucks. Now, I will give Sammy a little credit because it's turned into a ritual, assuming that if he says that, then he'll do good. But I mean, what else can the dude has helped the Browns get to 10-5?
So,
is OBJ still one of the best receivers in the league?
No, he's not.
He's not even in the top 10.
He's not even in the top 20.
He's not.
Jarvis Landry.
What does 10-5 mean to you then?
It means we should be 11-4.
You're the type that's never gonna. If we were 15-0 and we lost the last game of the season, you'd be like, well, looks like we suck. You shouldn't even be making the playoffs. That's exactly what Sammy, I think, would say.
But here's my only thing. Here's my only thing, and I could be wrong on this. I mean, like I've said, I didn't play football, but I've been watching it a long time. But like, I was never down there. I never understood the intricacies. So please excuse my ignorance here. But Baker Mayfield's throwing the touchdowns. He's managing the game. He's doing his part on the offense. Doesn't it kind of fall on the defense to maybe not allow 28 points and a half? I mean, it's hard to overcome. Don't forget, before Drew Brees, when Drew Brees went to the Saints, I mean, their defense was atrocious, and they weren't winning games because Drew Brees can throw 50 touchdowns in a season, but it don't matter because his defense was giving up literally 490 points a year.
Simply put, the Browns losing to the Ravens, he can't do anything about how bad our defense does kind of suck.
And again, Ryan, I might not understand all that.
What he can do something about is fumbles. Are the interceptions that people are overlooking.
So you're taking so if he had 3 fumbles collectively throughout the whole year, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But because he did it in one game, it's magnified by all means.
Oh my God! Yes, exactly.
Absolutely,
yeah.
It is.
But
it is.
But it doesn't only matter. The number doesn't matter, Ryan. The number isn't as big as the moment. And that's what I keep trying to tell you. And that's so Baker Mayfield, when the pressure is not on, is pretty good. And when they get a big lead, and when they have a big lead and they're obviously better than their opponent, Baker Mayfield looks elite.
What was the Baltimore game then?
When Baltimore put the pressure on him,
he scored 42 points.
When Baltimore put the pressure on him, that was the first time he had shined, really. Prior to that, he crumbled. And again, that
38-17 at halftime against Tennessee means what then?
Tennessee, we beat the hell out of Tennessee and almost let them win the game.
But how is that Baker's fault?
Well, I'm not saying that game is Baker's fault. I'm saying there are instances.
This whole conversation is about how Baker sucks in your eyes. How can you not say that?
Because I'm talking about the instances where you need Baker to play big, where you need him to make it. It's this game against the Jets is not the first time that he has a gaffe at the end of the game that really changes the momentum. This one just hurts the worst because it's the newest. Now, some of that comes with being a young quarterback, absolutely. And this game doesn't fall completely on him either. because if you overlook 4 receivers being out, our top 4 receivers being out, that's stupid. But the biggest thing is our offensive line was playing at 50% capacity. So no, does it all fall on him? Absolutely not. And Tom, you're right as well. Our defense is atrocious. Andrew Sendejo is probably the worst football player in the NFL.
He had that one hit on Sunday, and you would have thought that son of a gun won them the Super Bowl with that tackle. They were like, "Yeah, boy."
No, like that. You're correct. But the problem, what I'm saying here is there's a trait. There's a trait in some quarterbacks that when they get that ball in their hand and the game's on the line, you're like, there's a comfort there. There's a trust. And I don't have that. And trust me, it ain't just me. You know, this is what the national guys are saying about Baker Mayfield too. They just don't think he's cut from that cloth. And that's okay. That's okay. Because you know what? There are quarterbacks that win. There are quarterbacks that win that aren't cut from that. But
I mean, was Tom Brady
Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, they're a different cut, and that's awesome.
I mean,
Drew Brees is 39, Tom Brady's 43, Aaron Rodgers is 38. They've all been in the league. And so first off, Patrick Mahomes is one of those wild occurrences that just it's a freak accident. I don't know, molecular structures were blown to pieces and out came Pat Mahomes. So he's a beast, the best in the league right now. If you had to call the best quarterback in the league, I mean, if I had to pick, and Aaron Rodgers is close second, but if I'm backyard football, guess who I'm picking first? Yeah. It ain't Aaron Rodgers. It's going to be Pat Mahomes.
Okay, well, Ryan, who are you right now? Who would you rather have leading your team, Josh Allen or Baker Mayfield?
I'd probably go with Allen, to be genuine with you. I'm not going to sit here and say that.
So not even just that. Okay,
but Allen is probably considered a top 5 quarterback in the league, at least this year.
So and I think it's things like the fact that I think you can look at Allen to make the right plays. He makes the right throws. And don't forget, Allen, people thought Buffalo should draft a quarterback last year because he started off so bad. He picked it up at the end where he starts putting it together. But Allen was a work in progress too. It's just Baker Mayfield and Allen, they started at the same starting point. And Allen's taking off on him.
One huge variable between the two.
Coaching continuity, you can call it that.
He has the same OC from last year. He's got 24 months in the system now. Baker Mayfield didn't have a preseason with his new head coach Stefanski. Didn't have an offseason with his new head coach Stefanski. Didn't have anything. At least Allen already knew what the playbook is for the most part.
And Josh Allen, make no bones about it, I picked Josh Allen too. But the biggest thing is Josh Allen went and got one of the top 10 receivers in the league, and Stephon Diggs traded to his team, and Stephon Diggs has stayed healthy all year.
And John Brown's out there too, which it might not be top 10, but he's probably top 20.
Well, and that brings on a different point, okay? And Tom particularly falls in love with wide receiver. Just loves him some wide receiver.
I do.
But there's a lot of talk about Justin Jefferson, who's phenomenal. He is phenomenal.
That boy can catch the football.
But how much of a difference is a wide receiver going to make? And the reason why I say that is because you look at these Super Bowl teams, and if you look at the best receivers of all time, I think probably the best one I can think that I watch with my own eyes is Randy Moss. Never could get one over. I think Megatron is right there in that ballpark. Never could get one over. These receivers, they're a luxury on a good team. Bad teams make entire decades out of them. So I don't even know if I would want Stephon Diggs or something. OBJ right here in Cleveland has shown to be a hindrance.
Yes. I mean,
You
but
know what
if
I
you look
mean?
at like Landry is not the best receiver, but
No,
when you
he's the
throw him
best
ball,
receiver for us,
For
though.
this team.
right,
And that's what matters.
Right, that's exactly what matters more than anything.
Like,
The
I don't think
continuity.
Stephon Diggs would be that good anywhere but Buffalo. I think he just works well there.
Right,
And the reason
Just
why
like
I
he
say
did in
that is,
Minnesota.
well, look at
He was
Mike
great in
Wallace.
Minnesota.
No,
You
that's what I'm
remember
saying.
when Mike Wallace was with Pittsburgh?
Yeah, Mike
Wallace.
Holy crap.
Nobody in the league could stop him.
Plaxico
Nobody in the
Burress.
league.
Remember
And then he
Plaxico?
went to
Well, he shot himself in the leg.
yeah,
that-
but like Mike Wallace gets traded to the Dolphins and becomes a non. You didn't even have to guard him.
Yeah.
You know, it's more about wide receiver for your system. So I think we've got that already with Jarvis Landry.
I think that there's only one receiver in the NFL that you could take and put him on any team and he'd be dominant. And that's Devontae Adams.
okay.
Devontae Adams is possibly, and I hate saying this because I'm a Browns fan, but my second team is the Minnesota Vikings. Devontae Adams is probably the most talented pound for pound wide receiver in the NFL. He does things that no receiver should be able to do with his frame. He's 6'1", but he acts like he's 6'10". You know what I'm saying? The only other one that would be even close would be Nuke, DeAndre Hopkins, because he made Kyler Murray look like a beast this year, and Kyler Murray's just Baker Mayfield that can run.
Kyler Murray's as tall as I am and weighs about a quarter of what I do. So DeAndre Hopkins, I like. Devontae Adams is fantastic. But what I'm getting at there is these wide receivers, I just don't think you have to have one to win a big. I mean, the Patriots have shown you don't have to have a single name brand receiver to win. So that's why I've kind of given up. But what the NFL has shown is the best line wins.
Yep.
The best offensive line wins.
Oh, that's 100%.
To a point, Dallas kind of screwed that up, but
Yeah, but Dallas hasn't won a championship since we were kids.
no, I'm saying 4 years ago. I mean, their offensive line was full of first round draft picks.
Oh yeah,
That's
but
all
you
they
know
were.
what? That's Jason Garrett, buddy.
Mhm.
Jason Garrett, he's a terrible coach.
As Kevin Malone would say, that's Dallas.
Yeah. No,
Dallas
I mean,
indeed.
yeah, I mean, and it's typical because New Orleans has never had a dominant line. You know what I mean? And they've won, and I'll tell you what, man, people should be scared of is the fact that Tampa Bay snuck themselves into the friggin' playoffs.
Mhm.
I still don't understand how.
So,
Can we take a minute to talk about this prick?
who?
Hold on.
What prick? Oh God.
Oh, jeez.
So listen, and maybe I'm the ultimate.
I haven't.
I hate you, but maybe I'm I'm the guy that feels bad. You know what I mean? Whatever you want to call it, but he has sucked. Yes.
Yep.
But in the grand scheme of things,
No, I'm not doing it.
over the past decade of kickers and failed, there's a lot more out there that were worse. Who did we have 2 years ago?
Cody Parkey.
No, it wasn't Parkey 2 years ago. It was somebody
Zane
else.
Zane Gonzalez.
Yes, which I mean, but yes, is he getting to the point of Gonzalez where you didn't even think he was going to punch through the extra point? Yeah, he's getting there. He really is. But yeah, that's a shame. Even though he missed those field goals, Cleveland still lost by a touchdown, so it would not have helped. But they could have kicked the field goal to tie it. That's
First
what
of all-
Extra point.
But then that,
First of all,
yeah, I know he missed an extra point and a field goal.
First of all,
What
Cody
about-
Parkey started off the season pretty good.
Oh, damn, I did the math on that. I hate
Toward
it.
the end of the season, Cody Parkey kicks like his feet have dyslexia. I'm sick and tired of him, and everybody seems to. And there it is. There it is.
Yeah. Let's go, Bucks. Hey, all I'm saying is he said off the rip 12-0.
He did.
He did 12-0, but they snuck their way into the playoffs, so good for them. The Tampa Bay Gronkaneers.
Here's what I have to say. Like Parkey, and if you guys remember, I was hard on him before the season even started. I said it was stupid to go get somebody that has already proven that they can't handle the pressure of a playoff kick, because he single-handedly ended Chicago's playoff run.
Yes, he did.
Yep.
With his antics. Now, it makes perfect sense that he would start off the year well, and as the year carried on, would get worse because he just can't handle the pressure. I don't care if Lieutenant Dan comes to kick for us. I don't want him lining up. All right. I would rather play catch with Jason Pierre-Paul's hands than let Parkey kick the ball. All right.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm sick of Parkey. Sick of it.
So over under, we'll go. What is it? 7 rounds in the NFL draft.
Yeah.
Over under, the Browns select a kicker before the 4th round.
Dude, we did that already. We took Siebert in
4th round.
In the 4th round. Siebert, who was statistically the best kicker in freaking college, and he comes here and he kicks like he's a soccer player.
Yep.
Here's what I think. We don't draft a kicker, but we do use a draft pick on a kicker. We take a 3rd round pick and we call up the Detroit Lions on Matt Prater, or we call up the Chargers on Marvin Badgley, and we go, listen, boy, I got you a 3rd round draft pick right here. Get you some. Come on. And if they say no, they're idiots.
Yep.
Okay? But that's who we need. We don't need to go draft Austin Siebert 2.0.
No.
We need to go out there and we need to go get an established kicker, because the fact of the matter is the days of dominant college kickers that are a sure thing in the NFL are gone. There was that cat that Mike Nugent from Ohio State. I mean, dominant college kicker, came in and was pretty damn good in the NFL. That doesn't happen anymore. I mean, just throwing it out there, it doesn't happen. So what you need to do, if you're a playoff team or if you're a team that needs to get over the hump and your kicking game blows, you need to go out there and you need to offer a high draft pick, not a 1st or a 2nd round. Don't be an idiot. 3rd round pick at the highest and get you a kicker. I mean, because think about this. If we had Matt Prater or Marvin Badgley, don't you think that we'd be in a bit better position right now?
I only want a kicker that's been in the league for 3 years. I feel the same way about kickers as I do about wide receivers. Let another team get them ready, get them NFL ready. Once they've established themselves, then bring them over here.
The only problem with that is I don't want a kicker who only kicked in a dome field or a dome-only field coming and kicking in Cleveland Stadium.
Well,
So
I mean, the simple fact is he still plays
field.
8 games outdoors.
Even
For
if,
the
yeah,
most part.
honestly,
Not
as long
necessarily.
as,
Yeah,
I
right.
mean, no, it's a good point, because if you're, I don't want, LA's kicker. I don't want New Orleans kicker, because these guys just don't see the weather.
And they don't, because they don't play bad weather teams generally. If you're New Orleans kicker, you're still playing NFC South teams predominantly.
8 times a year. Yeah. But
And
the
you're
other
going to overpay.
Yeah,
You're going to overpay.
the only reason why the Cleveland Browns have the roster they have is because they overpaid.
Right.
And
So
that's it.
I've said from the beginning, our downfall really comes down to we need 3 linebackers.
You are right. You are right, Ryan. But at the same time, this year, if there was one position that if we could lock into place and not worry about anymore, I'd probably go with a kicker. I really
And the other thing, too, is I can draft a linebacker in the 4th or 5th round to make a meaningful contribution. I can't trust that I can draft a kicker that'll be anything in the NFL. You know what I mean? Like,
we have this super dramatic receiver that we need to turn into some defensive players.
Yep.
Our corners need to start drinking milk and taking their vitamins because they're constantly hurt.
Medical
and-
Ward.
Yeah, Medical Ward and Greedy Williams, and neither one of them. Denzel Ward has shown himself to be a pretty good quarterback. I think we tagged him as elite way too quick. But Greedy Williams, I have nothing on him. I think Rodney Harrison's pretty good.
Yeah,
I
he's
think he's
good.
pretty good. But that's it. Everybody else can go. Mac Wilson, I think, is a nice backup linebacker. I think he's a nice guy to, keep people fresh. But, we need an entire linebacking core. So you got to take, this year, and it's going to show. And, God willing, we get into the playoffs this year. God willing, we get into the playoffs this year. I don't know that we're not going to get carved up because our defense can't stop nothing.
Depending on who, I mean, if we play Baltimore again, we're done.
We've got one of the best defensive lines in the country, and we have like the worst run defense.
Yep. All right. So to end the show, we all know the Browns and Pittsburgh's coming up. We did find out today that Ben Roethlisberger will be sitting. He is not going to play that game, which probably is going to create a domino effect of you might see some starters dress, but only see them for a little bit during the game. Just to keep their legs warm and, not build up too much rust. But who do you got, Pittsburgh or Cleveland this Sunday? And by the way, with an unbiased tone, hopefully, Pittsburgh, Cleveland wins, they're in. And if not, they need a lot of help from a lot of different places.
So I'm not going to pick. Because I'm not doing it.
Why? You're afraid that you'll jinx it?
Yep, I'm not going to do it.
I think
Mason Rudolph.
I think Mason Rudolph starting is big. I think all those guys being out in the linebacking core is huge. I'm going to say, you know what? No, you know what? I'm going to do the most 2020 thing that can happen. I'm going to say we tie 17-17.
Oh, I got it. So I'll just go into it real quick. The Browns are going to get the win. I firmly believe that. That part I don't have a conspiracy theory for, or I don't have any superstitions. Sammy doesn't want to talk about it because he's afraid he'll jinx it. I'm not afraid to talk about that because my superstition is I don't wear Browns gear on game day. So, in which I will let everyone know, last Sunday I wore a Browns t-shirt during the game. Took it off at halftime, and it just wasn't enough. I mean, if I didn't have it on the whole time, we probably would have won. So, but
everybody wore your 440 and goal gear during the game. Take a picture of it, and let's show some solidarity for our Browns fans.
That's right.
Here are our preseason picks, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's right. And then we'll get out of here.
So you guys can kind of look at them and see how everybody did, but we all did have the team going 10-6, which we now know means 10-6 is no playoffs.
Right. Yep.
How cool would that be if we were right, though?
Terrible. I've never wanted to be wrong. It's so wrong more in my life.
So I do believe Tom said I got the most right out of everybody.
So far, you do.
Yes.
That doesn't surprise me. Brian just threw darts at it, and that's what you got, boys.
I poop excellence. I wanted to say the other word, but I can't.
Oh, get down here, boy, and pick these teams.
So, all right. Well, we were only supposed to be on for 30 minutes. Here we are an hour later. It is what it is. But thank you guys all tonight for joining us. Again, we just found out from where's it?
Coach Bowler out of Edgewood.
Bowler, thank you. Out of Edgewood. Basketball season starting up here soon. Keep on lookout. As soon as we know where we can cover, how we can cover, why we can cover, you guys will all know. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, Twitch. Oh, I don't think we're on Twitch, but not yet. So eventually, but yeah, check it out. Keep in touch, and then we'll let you guys know what's going on. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm getting out of here. Later.
Bye.
See you guys.
No, I don't have the thing pulled up yet, so we'll awkwardly sit here for another moment. And here it is.
Rebound
Deuces.
taken by Iguodala. Iguodala to Curry. Back to Iguodala. Up for the layup. Oh, blocked LeBron James with the rejection.
Cleveland, this is for you.
Come here to cleanse your soul. Yeah, 4-4 and gold. Let other getting old. We got Sam Ryan time. This is a sports octagon. Sports for forever and beyond. Spending with Sam Ryan time. From the puck to the glove to the pigskins high. Share all of your thoughts, just let it ride. Down the baseline in the bleachers, or you wanna get denied. Yeah, share all of your thoughts, just let it ride. 4-4 and gold. Come here to cleanse your soul. Yeah, it's 4-4 and gold. Come here to cleanse your soul.
The Browns Super Bowl contenders.
Hey, listen, when we start talking about what wins Super Bowl, we talk about talent. The Browns, they have the talent. They have it.